Yeah, that is very true. DoorDash is actually paying Dashers less. I'm going to show you verbatim what DoorDash is saying here, but I need to tell you this isn't necessarily a surprise. So just posted yesterday in DoorDash's Q3 2022 letter to investors, it reads, quote, DoorDash standalone adjusted EBITDA benefited from leverage on Dasher costs as total Dasher costs per order declined quarter over quarter and year over year, which helped drive improvements in net revenue margin and sales and marketing expense as a percent of marketplace GOV. So flat out, the total Dasher cost per order declined, and they even define what's included in total Dasher costs. Let's take a look. So right here at the footer, it says total Dasher costs include Dasher acquisition costs, Dasher pay, and the cost of Dasher benefits. So the overall Dasher costs was reduced, which increases their net margin. Completely makes sense there. Now, I need to ask you, and this is what we need to watch when it comes to less pay, what was the biggest piece of the pie here? Because DoorDash adjusted, number one, their acquisition cost. So that could be, let's say, marketplace or social media spending for ads. So if you're scrolling Instagram, you see an ad to become a DoorDash Dasher. That's ad spend from DoorDash to try to what? Acquire new Dashers. That's that acquisition cost. YouTube mid-rolls, Instagram ads, whatever it is to acquire new Dashers. And they're also paying any guarantees or bonuses. That goes in play with that new Dasher acquisition. So that ad might say, well, guaranteed to make whatever it is, $1,000, X amount of dollars in your first week. So if it's a guaranteed pay, DoorDash is going to pay the difference to meet that hourly or that weekly amount. Or it could be a flat out bonus. So is DoorDash simply spending less on ad spend? Or are they spending less on guaranteed pay promises and doing, lesser guaranteed pay amounts? And or are they just paying less flat out new bonuses for new Dashers? Or number two, Dasher pay. The premise here is DoorDash is paying less Dasher costs. So number two, it's Dasher pay. How are they paying less in Dasher pay? Does that mean, as you're probably thinking, is it less challenges? Is it less peak pay, less frequent peak pay? Or the dollar amount is lower on those peak pay? Comment down below. Have you seen less peak pay or challenges, just pay in general? Now remember this, there's that summer slowdown, and DoorDash's data says, well, consumer spending peaks in February. So consider that there is a natural decline throughout the year, and we should see some pickup in Q1. And then thirdly, the cost of Dasher benefits. So any other programs, discounts, and benefits, that could be reduced. Some programs dropped, some features dropped. So that would decrease again their Dasher expenses. Now the company says average Dasher earnings, well, comment down below. What are your average Dasher earnings, before I tell you this, per hour? What's kind of the average in the last, let's say, 3 months or at least a month, right? What's your average earnings per hour? Because DoorDash says nationally, at least here in the US, the average Dasher earnings is $25 an hour. Here is my strategy and my mindset on bonus pay, either for Uber and DoorDash. So listen to this. I feel like obviously these companies want to operate lean. Obviously, decreasing the expenses for their drivers, the bonus pay incentive programs, it's going to increase the margin, clearly. But I don't think it's going to happen quickly. They know they can't just nuke all of the bonuses and drivers would be completely fine with that because it's a very tight system where you have merchants, you have customers, and you have drivers. And if someone is extremely unhappy, that system is not going to work. So what you have to do is offer new programs, changes over time. I'll give you an example. Because the Accept More, Earn More program that was announced this summer on DoorDash is a good example, where DoorDash is giving Dashers access to higher paying orders. They previously said it was $2 plus a mile, but you have to have a high acceptance rate, 50% or 70%. And I think most of us would agree that's pretty much impossible for a lot of marketplaces. Versus, let's say in the past, instead of making it so challenging and really not appealing because they're not trying to pay a lot of bonus pay, that's a big takeaway. They're really not trying to pay a lot of bonus pay because, again, that increases the expense line. The past might have been like a challenge where you drive, let's say, 5 deliveries and you get 25 extra dollars. So a strong $5 per delivery incentive when you break it down by the numbers. But DoorDash also wants retention. They don't want someone that just drives the 5 rides or whatever, it drive for a week and then drops off, because then what? If you're losing Dashers, you got to spend more. Like we saw here in this line item, you have to spend more on Dasher acquisition to get more people to fill these spots so the marketplace works, and ETAs and wait times are better for the merchants and the customers. So don't worry if you didn't listen to that hour-long webcast for the Q3 call. I got your back here, gleaning some of the most standout things from that call, and in this case, the letter to investors as well. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. This is all I do here. I help you make money in different side hustles.